morning, class. Today we're going to work on additional practice. Just to give you some notes, you're going to want to keep this in your math binder. So I didn't mention this yesterday, but I do want you to have a math binder to keep all of these papers in. We'll talk about that in class tomorrow. Today what we're going to practice is I'm going to give you some notes on how to turn a decimal that's repeating into a fraction or a mixed number. This goes along with page 10 and 11 in your textbook. So, step by step, follow along with me as I write, you write. We're going to let x equals 0.2 repeating. The next step, we're going to multiply by 10 on both sides. So that's going to give us 0.02 repeating. Then what we want to do is subtract 1x, which is really subtracting 0.2, right? So that's going to give us 9x on the left side. And if we take 2.2 repeating minus 0.2 repeating, that's going to cancel out those repeating decimals that we're trying to get rid of and leave us with a 2. And then we're going to divide by 9 just like we did in one-step equations, and we get 2 ninths. So 0.2 repeating is equal to 2 ninths. Let's move over to number 2. We're going to let 1.8 repeating equal x. So x we're then going to multiply by 10, which is going to give us 18.8 repeating. Now again, we're going to subtract 18.8 repeating minus 1.8 repeating. That's going to cancel out that repeating, right, because that repeating decimal. And then we're simply going to take 18 minus 1, which is 17, and then divide by 9. So that is 17 ninths. Now they also asked you to write it into a mixed number. So you would take 17 divided by 9, that's 1, and it leaves you with 8. So it would be 1 and 8 ninths. Let's go ahead on to number 3. If you notice, this repeating decimal is in the hundredths place. So there's a little bit different procedure that you would do. Very much the same, but instead we're going to add just one more step. We're going to let x equals 0.46. 6 is repeating. We're going to multiply by 10. 4.6 repeating. But now we're going to multiply by 10 again. 46.6 repeating. When we take 4.6 repeating, when we're multiplying it by 10, all we're doing is moving that decimal over. So now we're going to subtract 46.6 repeating minus 4.6. Again, that's going to cancel out that repeating decimal, and you're going to take 46 minus 4, which is 42, and then divide by 90. Now 42 divided by 90, those are both even, so you can keep reducing and simplifying that fraction until you get, x is 42/90ths, and we're going to simplify that all the way down to 7/15. Let's move over to number 4. This time we have two numbers that are repeating. Hey. Kim, I'm going to keep recording. I'm going to keep recording, just so you know.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just getting water.
Okay, I just didn't want you to walk in and not know. Say hi to Mrs. Kleiser, everybody. All right, on to number 4. So what we're going to do is let 0.12 repeating equal x. This time we're going to multiply by 100, and then we're going to subtract. So that is 12.12 subtract 0.12. Again, that's going to cancel out those repeating decimals, and we're going to be left with 12 minus 0, which is 12. And our fraction would be 12/99. Those numbers can both be divided by 3, so you're going to simplify to 4/33. Last question of the video. Moving on down to number 5. If you take a look, let's read the question. It says, Brianna asked 45 students if they would vote for her to be student council president. She used her calculator to compare the number of students who said yes with the total number of students. Her calculator showed this, 0.62 repeating 2. Write this as a fraction. Find a problem in 1 through 4 that looks like this, 0.62 with just the 2 repeating in the hundreds place. If you look, it's the same style problem as number 3. So we're going to follow these steps. We're going to let x equal 0.62 repeating. Then we're going to multiply by 10. Not 0, we just multiplied by 10, so we're going to move that decimal, 6.2 repeating. Then we're going to multiply by 10 again and have 100x, 62.2 repeating. Now we're going to subtract 100x minus 10x. That's going to give us 62.2 repeating minus 6.2 repeating. That's going to cancel out those 0.2s. We're going to be left with 90x equals, what's 62 minus 6? That's 56. Divide by 90, and we're left with 56 90ths. But wait, both of those are even, so we can simplify to 28 45ths. So what is this number as a fraction? 28 over 45. And out of those 45 students, how many students said they would vote for Brianna? 28 students.